You're watching Guude. You're watching Guude. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Just in time for nighttime.
Just in time for nighttime.
Somebody was really upset with me for mining like super far away from the beacon because I was wasting my time. I don't think they also realized that I only had an efficiency 4 pick, so it wasn't working at full speed.
Yeah, a lot of our picks are efficiency 5 now. We need to go on a mending repair journey. I guess I can do that today. Damn it.
Well, and what I just did was I found one of the ones that I had randomly enchanted was just an efficiency 4 pick, so I just combined it with this one.
Oh, so you could.
There's another just efficiency 4 as well. Yeah, we don't have the mendings, but if we have any mending ones that aren't efficiency 5 yet, we have.
I think all the mendings are efficiency 5.
Well, not the one that I had in my hand. Now it is.
Okay, I didn't realize we had a mending that weren't efficiency 5. I guess.
Yeah, it was just this one. It's a mending fortune 3, unbreaking 3, efficiency 5. To make another run at some point soon because most of them are dead. But do you want to sleep so we don't get mobs?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm so curious to see how long the shutdown's actually going to last.
Oh God, I really think it's going to last quite some time. To be honest with you, I think this is going to go well beyond the longest in history.
And I agree. And the question is, I think what it's going to come down to is not what good agreement can they come to, but which side is eventually going to cave for the betterment of America.
Sure. I don't think Trump's going to cave, period. So
I agree, but
it's going to come down
the
to Republicans are going to have
the Republican base might, or the scarier part is the Democratic base might, and we might get a border wall.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think that there's any chance that there will ever be a wall built on the border. Even if, let's say someone does cave and
it gets budgeted for.
Yeah, I still don't believe there will ever be a wall built on the border.
And I agree with that as well. I think that there could be a budget plan that puts the money in the budget, and then the wall just never does happen.
Yeah, no sane person wants this wall.
Right. I mean, I think it's so funny that one of the arguments that is being made for the wall is that, especially now that it's going to be made out of steel, it's giving Americans jobs and, so keeping our wonderful steel industry like in business. And it's like, okay, you could also mandate that every man, woman, and child in the world has a coal-burning lantern, because that would give our coal industry jobs, and that's good for America. Just because you force something which makes it like a requirement that you have to supply it in some way, shape, or form, like the circle doesn't work right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's and
well, have you ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And the episode where they start their own Patty's Bucks?
That does sound familiar, yeah.
They have all the RVs move onto the street, and they try to take advantage of it by getting them to come into the bar and get business. So they make their, like Dave and Buster's does with a card. They make their own Patty's Bucks that they go distribute out to the RVs to get them into the door. And basically all that ends up happening is they come in and spend just the money that they got for free and nothing else. And Dennis keeps talking about the self-sustaining economy, and everybody's like, but we didn't make any money. And he's like, yes, the self-sustaining economy.
Oh God, yeah, I don't remember all that. I mean, the problem with that show is there's so many. It's one of those shows where there's so many episodes that some of them runs together. God, I just went to the Nether and I don't recognize anything.
Is it changed, or
I think it has?
No, I'm curious.
It definitely has. Huh. We're
Really?
right beside the ice now. Like the moment you come in, you're at the ice. You don't have to walk anywhere to get to it.
Interesting.
Hello?
Hello.
I just placed the
Hold
boat
up.
and nothing happened. Okay, here we go. And it wasn't in my inventory anymore. That was weird.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how long some of these agencies stay closed for. Because at some point, like we said about the TSA, how long are those people going to work for
right.
without pay?
Yeah. I mean, and the Democrats have tried to reopen some stuff today, but no luck. So,
Well, yeah, there's not going to be. It's all literally being held hostage, and I think it's it's another. I think I've mentioned this before. At what point, especially with part of the government shut down, like let's say it was a full government shutdown, at what point is it no longer anarchy to try to basically take over the non-functional government?
That's the problem with the whole everyone can have guns to protect themselves against the government. That's basically bullshit. Like, there's no point in which you can does that ever work ever again, unless
because you're considered a traitor and
right.
you can be put to the death penalty because you're overthrowing the quote unquote the government. And I understand the whole reason for not to be traitors or to be anti-traitor laws and all, but also at some point you have to be able to stand up for your rights when they're clearly being violated.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that type of thing only happens whenever it's like the end of the world sort of thing at this point.
Well, but I mean, the same thing happened at one point in Europe.
When?
Hence the founding of America.
Ah, right. Yeah, but so much has changed since then.
But that wasn't the end of the world, though.
I mean, it was the end of an era.
It's true. It was the end of an era. And it's not like we can move somewhere and just start our own.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody overthrew the European government or the English government. It was, they just kind of made their own new one
right.
in a different place.
Yeah, I mean, the world, things like the internet just changed everything, for example.
That's true. Like Santa Claus.
What? Does the internet change Santa Claus?
Yeah. It changes the children who believe or don't believe, or are told not to believe or to believe.
Oh.
Remember, information at fingertips.
I see what you mean.
But I really do want to know, when is it no longer anarchy? Because at some point, somebody's going to try to overthrow the government, rightfully or wrongfully. I'm not putting my finger on what I would agree with because I don't want to get myself into trouble. But at some point, when is it considered that we are being oppressed by our own government and need to step in and do something to protect ourselves?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin on that one.
You just don't like the controversial discussions, Guude.
It's not that. It's just that, I think that the United States is still functioning without the government. I mean, let's be honest. The Trump administration isn't a real government.
Right.
They just pretend government.
Therefore, what's the point of going with that government? Let's just make our own. We're still going to function.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know. I mean, you can't just that's the thing is I feel like what you're looking at there is more like if Trump is the sole person holding this all back, then it's more of the Republicans are going to have to pass laws with pass things without his approval, sort of thing, instead of sticking with him. They have to get rid of McConnell or something like that. I think that's when. Because you're talking about American Revolution. People,
right?
It's impossible to get people. There's been cries for protests in the street, and you haven't left your house. Your wife may have, but you haven't.
I mean, I've been to a few protests.
Not recently.
Oh no, not recently.
And you live in like the prime spot to do it, is what I'm saying.
Right. I wonder if there was a big protest outside of the White House.
Probably.
I didn't hear about one. That's interesting. No, but I mean, like, if this thing does drag out for 6 months, a year, 2 years, like, you know.
Well, in 2 years, we'll just, the government will get replaced.
Well, I want to even know what happens in April. If the IRS is closed, are you really going to have somebody to force me to file my taxes on time?
I mean, eventually, you could not file your taxes, but eventually it's going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Right, but do you think it'll come back to bite me in the ass as being late?
Yeah.
If I do wait until... And that shit don't make sense.
Sure, it doesn't, but, I mean, just because the government shut down doesn't mean you can ignore the government.
Yeah, but they can ignore me.
It's kind of like... You can't pay your power bill on Sunday because the power company is closed. But if your power bill was due on Friday, they're going to cut that shit off on Monday, regardless.
Well, the sad thing is, I'll probably cut it off on Sunday, even though
maybe. Which is kind of a funny topic. Apparently, the White House is $5 million behind on its water bill.
I saw that. The city of Detroit a couple years back was, I think they did shut. I can't remember exactly how it went. They either did shut off their water, or something big got out there because Detroit was shutting off all these people's water for not paying their bill, and one of the people who didn't pay the bill was the city government.
Oh, that's funny. And did they shut off their water?
I'm pretty confident they did. I can't remember all the details about it, but I remember it made huge headlines about how it was, about the scenario. And I'm pretty sure that they did, because I think the government was trying to argue that they were an entity that they couldn't shut off their water to, and they were the water company was like, well, you're a customer just like anybody else is.
Right.
I wonder, how does the White House get behind in bills like that?
I don't know. Hell, I would have thought they were exempt from that sort of thing, to be honest. I never knew they had to pay their water bill. What I don't know is, if they're $5 million behind in their water bill, how many months of that is that? Like, how much is a monthly water bill? I keep saying power bill. Water bill at the White House. Like, are we talking this shit hasn't been paid since like the Bush administration, or like what is going on here?
Yeah, a lot of bidets in that place.
Still, like, how much fucking water is getting? I mean, how big is the White? I've passed by the White House, but I mean, I don't know how many square foot the White House is. How many bathrooms are in there? How many people work in the White House on a day-to-day basis?
7.
7 people.
I have no idea.
I don't have any concept of what goes on in the White House in terms of like how many toilets are being flushed, how much food's being cooked, how many people are eating in the White House. I don't know these sorts of things to even be able to understand. It's kind of, to me, it's almost like understanding the scope of how big the universe is to me in terms of, how big is the White House and how much water is being used. I can't quantify what $5 million of water bill looks like, because my water bill every month is $18. Not that I'm the White House.
So multiply that by about 5 million divided by 18, and there you go.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. The power bill can't, fucking hell, the water bill can't be $5 million a month. So how many months are they behind at a rate of $5 million?
I mean, it is a good question. I have absolutely no idea, but isn't it funny, like, thinking about it, when you say, like, when you think to yourself, how cool would it be if you worked in the White House, just to be able to say that you worked in the White House, and like, wouldn't you think it'd be really interesting to be like, wow, I get to go to the White House every day because that's where my job's at?
You mean if you were just like a fucking janitor or what?
Yeah, I mean, not like the president, like somebody who's not big, high up in the government, or,
right? Okay,
because
like
there's got to be janitors, landscapers, every form, electricians. I'm sure there's a nurse that is at the White House.
Oh, there's
at all
gotta be.
times.
There's gotta be. There's gotta be a full doctor at the White House, I imagine. I don't know. I would imagine that like there's a doctor there. Like if like if Trump had a heart attack, I imagine there's someone there that's meant to handle that immediately. And I would imagine
I'm
Secret
sure
Services probably has medical training, right? To some degree?
I would. Yeah, I knew a guy who worked at the Secret Service who actually worked at a White House detail, and I don't believe he was medically trained.
I mean, I would think that some of them, like some percentage of the
I'm
Secret
sure
Service,
that there's some, like, I'm sure there's specific, like, Secret Service medics, doctors, nurses, etc. I'm almost positive that would be the case.
Someone like Trump, Obama kind of plays basketball, runs every day, that sort of thing. He could still have a heart attack, but I feel like Trump's much more higher risk. Eating McDonald's, sitting on his ass all the time. He's like, I don't eat McDonald's, but I'm probably, I'm like for me, I'm way more high risk of a heart attack than like Obama was, for example. So there's got to be like these sort of things. Like there's got to be these like people. Someone's talking about this. I don't know.
I don't know. Obama was a smoker.
Didn't he stop though?
He did. He stopped like sometime in the first year of his presidency, I think.
Which is surprising to me that he was a smoker, because normally intelligent people aren't.
I don't think that's true at all.
Oh, that's absolutely. There's so many studies that prove that poverty and lack of education demographically are the highest percentage of smokers.
I will admit that maybe it's a higher percentage of smokers, but I think the way that you said it was...
I wasn't saying only dumb people smoke. I was just saying...
Right, but I think there's a way higher number of quote-unquote smart people that smoke than you realize. I was in those numbers for a very long time. I still am doing the vaping.
Let's go to the comments here. You don't even believe in Santa. So...
That's true. That is true. But when I went to school, like engineering school and things like that, and multiple of like the nurses I know, we talked about this before. Remember the highest percentage of hospital employees who are smokers?
Those like surgeons,
respiratory therapists.
That's weird. That doesn't make any sense.
It is. It's a very strange, and who knows if it's true anymore. I was told this fact. I saw this statistic a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if it's it holds true, because smoking is down in general, across the board, which is a good thing. But where I went to college, I went to like an engineering school. I worked as an engineer for a while. Worked as a nurse. I would say 30% of my colleagues were smokers, and I think that's a lot higher number than you would think.
30%. That seems.
I think anymore it's a hell of a lot less. But
yeah. I think. I think smoking at like a national level is going down, right?
Yes. I remember they banned.
But I wonder what percentage of smoking. Smoking is going down. But if we factor in vaping as well, I wonder how that looks. Like, are we increasing in the total number of people that are smokers? And like, if you include vaping as smoking, if you count that as smoking.
I would venture to guess yes.
That's good to hear.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I would hope. I guess
yes. You would hope that we are
going down. The total number are going.
Oh
down.
no, I'm not going up.
Oh, you think it's going up?
Yeah, because I think the vaping is way huge with young people who might even be too young to really smoke. High school, I heard vaping is a huge issue and concern.
I think the problem there is lack of education. Again, and
this is the lack of education by years of education.
Well, I mean, lack of I feel like as a nation, we have a lack of education on the possible dangers of vaping, and no one really knows. I'm not saying that no one. I feel like no one's putting the effort into researching this even. Like,
I agree.
So I don't know.
I do remember multiple years ago, because I remember reading the articles before I moved out to DC. It was when I still worked for Ford, and it made me laugh because I knew I was moving out to this area soon, and it was an article about Congress or some decision-making body in DC, and I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but they were just banned smoking on the there was this atrium area that they had that you could smoke in, and I'm not sure if it was like right outside the building or if it was actually technically inside, but it was a smoking room. There was something special about it where it really wasn't supposed to be a smoking area and they banned smoking in there, but it was a smoking lounge for like a long, long time. And they were interviewing one of the either congressmen or senators or whatever body this was about it because he was a smoker. And his quote was something about, as he stared longingly at the ashtray, his response was, "It's such a shame. So many decisions were made over right by that ashtray that led America's future." And I was like, what is happening here? Like, apparently that's where everybody went out to discuss things, was smoking, and that's where they made the decisions, was the smoker's corner. I will say I kind of enjoyed smoking when I was in college because I felt like when you had a break in class, a lot of people just sat at their desk and didn't talk to anybody, and the smokers all went outside and were the most social crowd.
When I worked in Fayetteville, I thought it was bullshit that smokers got more breaks, so I started taking an air break every time. Every time people would take a smoke break, I would take an air break. And
Yeah, people did that at when I worked at like McDonald's and stuff too. They would take their air breaks.
Like,
It's funny, my buddy Scott, who's still a friend of mine now, I met him in some of my prereqs for nursing school. I met him out smoking with a bunch of people, and he wasn't a smoker. He never has been. He just liked hanging out with the smoking crowd because he thought they were more social and more fun to talk to. So every break he would go outside with the smokers.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where like people would just gather. Like, I mean, like from like when I used to smoke pot, like all the people that I smoked pot with, once I stopped smoking pot, you would think you would be able to still stay friends with these people, but you really just can't. Like, it's just like, all right, now you're dead to me. And I'll never talk to you again, basically.
You're no longer one of us.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even that. Like, I don't want to hang out with them either because, like, they're all getting high. And it's like, well, this is boring.
Are you,
I'm coming back with
is
the
the
stuff
pig
now.
man farm working?
Yeah, I'm coming back now.
Nice. Yeah, I'm, my internet is seeming to be not a good connection today for some odd reason. You keep getting all tinny, but then I keep lagging too, so I know it's me and not you.
Right. That sucks.
Ugh.
I've repaired everything. So we got 5 picks that are fully repaired, and my hose fully repaired.
And we'll have one more that will need to be repaired because I just took
It's
it
so
down
fast.
to repair them. Yeah, it's really fast to repair them. It's just a matter of getting there. I wish almost we had like, an elevator that took you there somehow directly.
Yeah, you just went in and like suddenly you were there.
Yes. I don't want to ride this boat and then walk down this hallway. Come on, man. These
Right.
legs are made for mining and crafting. It's kind of nice how we can see this back wall like pretty clear where we're at, but still feels like so much to go.
Honestly, it feels like it hasn't moved. We're at that point where it's almost like whenever you eat like ramen or something, and you eat until you're full, and then you look at your bowl and you're like, "Have I eaten anything?" I do, but I don't know it.
You do what? What are you talking about?
Pack rat, what you just said.
Oh, I was in looking. What the hell? I can't fly again. I think it's my leg. What did he ask? I didn't even see.
He wants all his recipes unlocked like we did.
Oh, did we do that?
It's been a long time.
But how did we do that? I don't remember.
It's some command. Somebody just run in chat and it does it.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a rubber band like crazy. Okay, so. Oh wait, you're not back with the picks yet, huh?
I'm coming.
Nobody's been fishing for us randomly, have they?
Has anyone delivered any fish here?
Has anybody delivered any fish or books that we could use?
Yeah. If I had fireworks, I'd be there fast. I don't though.
Oh, are you running?
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
I haven't
are we
had
out of
fireworks in a very long time.
Why?
No, I think that there's a lot over there, and I just haven't got any.
There's
of
a
them.
nice chest full of them over here.
Yeah, I haven't
I use
touched
them.
those.
I use them all the time.
Need to grab some of those.
Fireworks were probably one of the best things to happen to this game, and it's only because it makes it so much easier to do.
That
Basically,
like you were drunk. Fireworks is good
Well,
and makes easy to do.
I was trying to think how was it a Trump speech? I was trying to think how I was going to put it because it almost makes it like the cheatiness of modded Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is what it essentially does to the game. And you're taking the bridge. You took the long way.
it's faster jumping through all that terrain. So because this is the straightest line, path of least resistance.
Have you seen all the arguments for the Republicans against the wall, or not the arguments for it per se, but they always saying like, well, why do former presidents have fences around their house, or why is it fun to go? Why is it fun to go to the zoo? Like, because those walls keep it safe, and it's just like that's. I think we're talking about a couple different things here.
Why is there a wall around the gorillas, huh?
Or just let them roam free if it's such a bad idea to have a wall.
I have not seen that. I did see that Trump tweeted today that Obama, he's like, I'm glad Obama agrees with me. He was like linking to an old speech where Obama said that it's important to have border security. That was like the content. That was it. Obama wasn't
Just
like
said border security.
Yeah, it's like
so that is the thing though. He's trying to play it that the Democrats are against border security just
Right.
because they don't like the wall. Like that's the angle he's trying to go at to get people on his side. And let's be honest, from a politician standpoint, if you're trying to make an argument, or if you were just even in a debate class, that's exactly where you would go with it.
Yeah,
you've seen the movie Thank You for Smoking?
I have. Yeah, it's been a long time. That's a Morgan Spurlock movie, isn't it?
I don't
maybe
remember.
not.
I don't remember.
That's the guy
He's
that did
telling
the
his
whole,
son,
McDonald thing. Anyways.
Well, but his son wants to learn how to like be as good of a not debater per se, but a salesman, pitchman or whatever he calls himself as his dad. So he said, okay, let's have a debate. What kind of ice cream is your favorite? And he's like, chocolate. And he goes, okay, you go with chocolate. I'm going to go with vanilla. And he says, give me your speech on why chocolate's the better ice cream. And he gives the kid starts talking about why chocolate's better than vanilla and all this stuff. And then his rebuttal is basically that why chocolate is bad. And the kid's like, but you didn't even argue on your flavor and why vanilla was better. And he's like, I don't need to argue why vanilla is better. I just need to argue and show why yours is wrong.
Yeah.
And people will believe me.
Yeah. That's like debate 101.
Yeah.
Much.
So, from a political standpoint, he's arguing the thing that you legitimately should be debating. It's just not ethical.
Well, I don't think this is all going to end in a wall, personally. So I'm just curious what the compromise ends up being. It's strange to me that before the shutdown, the government started, or not the government, the stock market started having a lot of trouble. But since the shutdown, the stock markets have returned to where they were, and everything's fine. What is up with that?
That is kind of weird. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Why did the stock markets rebound when the government shut down?
Yeah, I don't understand. Is it is the financial markets more stable without the government fucking with anything? Is that how that works?
I'll be honest. I don't understand stock market anyway.
Yeah, I'm not saying I do either.
Why some of that stuff goes up and down, why it's so volatile. That whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. And why somebody else can value my company because of the way the stocks trade versus like how profit actually is made or what the product actually is. That stuff is always confused the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've steered clear of the stock market.
The crypto market, on the other hand,
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
easy to understand.
Yeah, you're clearly a crypto connoisseur.
Crypto. One day, my friend, one day. Oh, so much lag. What is happening?
Don't you have the gigabit internet now?
Yep. I will tell you, I've been having problems with my video uploads lately, taking like an hour and a half for the upload. Even when I'll do a
mine are
speed
faster
test.
than that.
Yep. I don't know what happened. I actually called my internet service provider at one point and was asking them to check. I said, are you throttling me for some reason right now on upload speeds and upload speeds alone? Because it didn't make any sense. And upload speeds alone to YouTube. I was like, because everything else is fine. All the speed tests are running accurate. But all of a sudden I upload to YouTube and it says 1 hour, 30 minutes to go for something that used to take 15 seconds.
That could be net neutrality, honestly.
Well, and they said that they weren't doing anything, that they weren't doing it. And they looked at some random website and said that it showed that there was other people complaining about similar issues with YouTube. Unconfirmed. So they thought it said it was a problem with YouTube. But I have not yet gotten back to an upload speed of what I used to have, a month ago since then.
Huh.
So I don't know if it is net neutrality or what, but that would be pretty shitty. But wouldn't you think, even without net neutrality, don't you have to state to what you're gonna throttle?
No. No, they can do what the fuck they want.
But why would I? You're not living up to. See, and that's what I don't get. How are you?
You're getting those speeds
somewhere.
That's all that matters. And they may be telling YouTube, on the other hand, hey, we're throttling our customers to you. Pay this, or we'll open that line up.
YouTube's like, screw you.
Probably
not going to do it.
Or they may not even be doing that. They might just see that that's where most of the bandwidth is being, or a large percentage of bandwidth is being used here. We could better allocate for most customers if we throttle this here. So let's just do that.
I mean, I can't imagine that most customers are,
or even like a small.
Uploading.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it could be a small percentage of customers are using a lot of bandwidth in this area. It only affects this small percentage of customers if we throttle it, but it will be a greater. It'll benefit a larger number of customers because they will be able to use that extra bandwidth now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if we throttle Jeff and like his 4 other friends with his upload to YouTube, we'll be able to spread that bandwidth out over the 1,000 people that are trying to use it for other things.
Right, but the ironic thing about that is, I don't think there's many other people out there who are uploading. I mean, I guess with Twitch now, it's a little bit different because usually downloads are what you are getting your speeds.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And so why throttle my uploads? My downloads seem to be like today. I'm just having like issues in general. But why throttle my uploads? Because that shouldn't be where your bottleneck's at, unless all of a sudden there's a shit ton of Twitch streamers that joined the the service or joined in my service area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy who's stupid because he smoked and vapes and doesn't like Santa Claus.
That's why they're really throttling you. They heard the truth.
That's possible, man. They watch the videos and they're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we should probably end this particular episode here. So, hope
all right, guys.
Better. Bye, everyone.
See ya.